Hello, and welcome back to Lit Laugh Lounge.
Welcome.
I don't really know what's going on. We're on chapter 43. Welcome to chapter 43 through 50. Lots of weird stuff happened. Now, can you open this for me, please? So episode 6, we can just jump right on in because I have class soon. So Lydia goes and sees her little children, her little parasite offspring, if you will. And she has Bran and Akatan. Bran is blonde and Akatita is dark hair and shy. But he's also sassy. He's up there with Zuko leading the sassy man apocalypse. Like, that's what's happening right now.
He also hates her guts.
So much. They're talking to their dads, like their adopted dads, and they're like, she's talking, Lydia's like, their dads are like, don't take them. Like, Lydia, like, internally, she's like, don't take them away from us. And she's like, I would never dream of it. And Ace is like going in on Lydia. He's like, so, you know, when went on a mission, when you were the Hind and when you killed rebels,
like,
and she's like, so about that, funny story.
Check your facts.
She's like, actually, I worked with the rebels, so like PEMDAS or something. And then Bran's like chill with it though. Like, he's like rocking with the punches.
He's just like, cool, I got him on.
Yeah, he's lean with it, rock with it, you know?
And
so then Ace is kind of like, bye. And Lydia's like, oh! And so she exits the building. And so she starts to walk away, and then one of the dads, Renki?
I think it's Renki.
He like comes out and he's like, of the room, he's like, hey, Lydia, I'm sorry. Like, we thought this day would happen, but we didn't know, like, you were going to be like, you, and like, we had no preparation.
We don't know how to do that.
My beam. And so they're talking about the boys, and he's like, yeah, he honestly, 100%, they all favor Ace. That's the nickname they gave him. Like 10,000%, because his like explanation about Ace is like, he's a genius. He figured out how to like build things. He tears stuff apart. And then she's like, and Bran, he's like, he's a jock. He's your stereotypical jock.
He's jock. Like, what the hell?
I was like, ow. Because like, he's the chill one. I'm chill with Bran. We besties.
We rocking with Bran because Bran's rocking with us.
Exactly. All my homies love Bran.
Ace, I don't know. He's gonna be in a bitch.
Yeah, a little bit. And like, yes, he has the right to be a bitch, but also, like, damn.
Like, I feel
Daddy's favorite.
But yeah, but I feel like knowing who your mother is, especially like where she was, what she was doing, does that not want to like give you a little more? Oh, that's why you abandoned me. Okay, like even like that would give me a little pause. I would be like, oh, cool,
real. And so she's talking with the bro, Mr. Dad, and she's like, thank you for talking to me about this, and she like walks on away, and he's like, I'll talk to the boys about you, like we'll get through this. And she's like, thank you, and she walks away, and then some little like fish dude shows up, and he gives her a little letter, and he's like, it's from her deathlessness or deathlessness. Yeah, I like that. I like it, Picasso. And so the Ocean Queen summons her, and this bitch is up to something, like for real, because like, obviously, Lydia's children's like safety is on the line right now. So 10,000%, if the River Queen is up to something shady, Lydia's gonna go with it, and she's definitely up to something shady, because she's like, you're gonna go to Avalon with them, and Lydia's like, my children.
She's like, they'll be here.
They'll be chill, and as long as you do what you're supposed to, they'll still be here. And so she goes on over to Avalon, or to the boys.
The boys.
And so then she bumps into Rune in the hallway. And Rune's like, hey.
So
your kids. And Lydia's like, so now that I'm a mother and I have like a female sob story, you're chill with me?
And like socially acceptable reason for joining the rebel?
Yeah. And Rune's like, I mean, yeah, but like, no. But like, yeah. And Lydia's like, and he's like, so what's the sob story? And she's like, you don't deserve to know, and slams the door in his face.
fair.
No, literally, I was like, yes, Lydia, tell him.
Because, like, literally, the moment I found out that she's been working for the other side, I would have been like, okay, well, yeah, you kind of murdered a lot of people. But like,
someone's got to do it.
But, like, yeah, we needed a way in. You're the reason that also a bunch of people got saved. Like, how does that, like, way of thinking not compute? Like, I don't understand. So.
I don't know. I would have been like, understood. But now that she has kids, it's acceptable. We're accepting.
Now that he's like, oh, okay. I don't know.
And
I'm kind of not fucking with Rune right now.
Yeah, Rune needs to, like, do something to make up for it. He needs to be like, he needs to join the Sassy Man Apocalypse or something. I don't know. And then we go to chapter 44. And I don't remember if I was saying this in the last one or not, but I love Jesiba. I'm obsessed with her.
She's so funny.
She's so funny because she's doing all this shit that she does not have to do. She's just doing it for the drama, I feel like.
She literally is. Like, she
doesn't need to do this.
She has one goal, and it's to unlock the power of, but I feel like she just loves sticking her nose in places.
She definitely does. She's like obsessed with the drama. Because she's been alive for like, what, 15,000 years?
She needs something entertaining.
She needs to be a part of like the TV drama. And so she gets a call when she's like hanging out with Ethan. And like the start of this is like Ethan's putting away a statue of like whatever the mother goddess
that
is.
Was so weird because it was Chona. But like, like the first sentence was like her giving birth. I was
and
like,
it's like the planet Midgard is crowning. And I was like, huh? Anyway, so then she gets a call and she's like, Ethan, you're with me. And Ethan's like, okay. And he like walks on over and she's like, grab that. And he's like, oh, I know what that is. And he grabs Godslayer, the big ass gun
rifle
that Bryce used to kill Micah. And they like trot on over. And there's like a big crowd forming. And little Mr. Astronomer is there doing stupid shit because he's just stupid. And so the Shotties are eating dinner and they're discussing Morven and the murder twins. It's just... yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God, laugh. It's Laugh. Come here. She's been absent.
So how do you feel about Godslayer? The rifle.
The rifle?
The rifle in the fantasy novel that we're reading.
He totally slayed. Is it a she?
Yeah,
he did slay.
Did he slay
indeed.
Someone slayed a godlike
being.
That's it.
Oh, I think it's gold. I think it's like really cunt. It's a really cunt.
I imagine it being like a white rifle. Like the whole thing is just white.
It's a very cunty rifle in my head. Like it's something that you would find in like it's like a DLC thing that you would get in like Call of Duty or something that where you can do like.
I can't even get right.
Oh no! Oh god. Anyway, Godslayer. He's chilling. Where am I? Oh, okay. So the Shotties are eating, and they're discussing the murder twins in Morven, and the murder twins have like the whole Reese thing where they can go into your mind, and I think Rune says like, and they won't be polite about it as the Night Court dude, and I went,
what?
Whoa!
Like when I read that for a hot minute, I had forgotten that she had told them everything, and I was like, how does he know that?
That who?
How does he know him? I was like racking my brain trying to think back. I was like, did one of them accidentally end up in the other? Like,
I like, you know how when I said like the other day, I was like, well, they're cousins, referring to Rune and Reese, and you were like, what? I had the exact same conversation with my friend Shannon because she texted me and she's like, well, you know how like Reese and Rune look alike? This is what I think is gonna be with like, I think Dorian and like Asriel are the same thing. Like they're the same person. You know?
Yeah.
Like they have like the same look. And I was like, well, they are cousins. And she was like, oh my god, they're cousins.
No, because it's like you don't really put it together. You're just
didn't.
Okay, most people don't put it together. I was just like, they look alike, yeah, whatever. But like it's like throwing me off because Bryce looks so different from Reese and Rune. And so I'm like it's just very awkward.
They're cousins. And so Bryce is like kind of bullshitting that she has a plan. She's like, yeah, we're just gonna walk in there. And Hunt's like,
He goes, I know you're bullshit. And that doesn't sound like your usual
Yeah.
bullshit. You don't got anything.
You don't know what's
It's
happening.
like that one Zuko line where it's like, what's your plan? I'm going to capture the Avatar. So
There's
no plan.
Oh my god. So she's like, her plan currently is Team Archives and Team Cave, and like half of them's gonna go into the Cave of Princes, which I forgot what the Cave of Princes was, and then Rune was like, Peleus' tomb, and I was like, oh, that's what this is.
You think she's going to have a whole moment where she talks to Peleus?
like his ghost or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Also, I'm so excited to get 3 days of walking through another cave. This
And it's
is
gonna be
going
the
to
same shit too. Because it's also Rune's like there's hieroglyphs on the wall, and I'm like,
And they're gonna be fighting random monsters in there, and I'm like, can we
Mom, what?
I can't do 3 more chapters of a tunnel.
Oh my god. So the Cave of Princes is Peleus' tomb. It does have significance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a thing. And it is called an ordeal. I know I talked about this in the last episode, but I couldn't figure out what their challenge was called.
Yeah.
An ordeal. I was right. I knew what it was. And so the Ocean Queen, this is when Lydia's like, she's sitting with them at dinner, and everyone's kind of like, why the fuck is the Hind sitting with us at dinner? But also like, where else would she sit?
Yeah.
It's like a weird moment where they're like, you can't sit with us, but like also you can. And so she kind of like drops the bomb that she's gonna go with them to Avalon because the River Queen, the Ocean Queen says so. And then Therion's all sad and depressed because he's like, my besties are leaving me and I'm gonna be alone. And he's just sad. And then Lydia and Bryce go over to the sprites and they're like, hey girls, so we need you to do us a favor. And because Bryce has like such a strong connection with the sprites and like a genuine one, because they're like lowers and seen as slaves because of their past uprising, like because she sees them as people, that's why Lydia wants her to come with them. So they're like, hey girlies, when we surface in Avalon, we want you to go find Erithis because we don't know where the fuck she went. And they're like, you lost our queen.
What do you mean?
What do you
lost
mean?
her?
And they're kind of like, no. So like, she kind of was in a glass ball her entire life and like thinks everyone hates her. So she just might not be like super into like just flying to like a sprite stronghold or something like that because they might not be into her. And so they're like, we just want you to go find her and like make sure that she knows that she's chilling. And they're like, okay. And then we switch back to Ethan and them, and the astronomer's like, you took my property. And then Jessica was like, I paid you. What are you
Literally,
doing
calm
here?
down.
And then he's like, no, not for the dragon and the sprites. I mean for the wolf. And Ethan's like, wolves don't belong in tubes.
And Jessica's like, well, okay.
Calm down. And he's like, the astronomer's like, I need like you to pay me for it. And Ethan's like, sure, I'll pay you. My parents like did some good investing. Like we got Bitcoin. And he's like 10 million gold pieces.
Gold
and
marks.
He's like,
I think it said 10,000 gold marks.
it was a lot of money. And then he's like, oh, I can't. And then Jesse was like,
I
I'm
got
done.
you. Add it
Paid.
to the tab.
And Ethan's like, what? And she's like, tax write-off. Tax write-off for the house is crazy. I giggled so hard at that. And then Hypaxia shows up.
Yeah, and she's like, she's actually not a slave.
Yeah, no, she like drops her knowledge. But that's when she does like the whole thing where she's like, oh, he's actually the 45 is what we're on. He's like, oh, she's actually not a slave. And then the astronomer's like, and Jess was talking to Ethan and she's like, don't say anything stupid. And he's like, I want to say anything stupid. And she like points to his shirt and he's wearing like a Sunball t-shirt.
CCU Sunball.
And he's like, oh.
I love how literally every single chapter that Ethan has ever been a part of, they have mentioned the word Sunball at least once.
But that's like, can you imagine if the captain of our school football team, our college football team, was like doing anything like this? Everyone would be like, so you were the quarterback.
Yeah, like
you were
Jordan
quarterback.
Travis is just going on like he's overthrowing the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I think you'd do great
That would
in the
be
Crescent
weird.
City universe.
I would be like, Jordan. Yeah, remember that time I saw you at this game?
Yes, Jordan. We love you. Loved you that one time when
By
you
the
played
way,
that
did
one
you get
game.
that secret super intel that I needed?
Why is there like a line?
It's because it's uneven. It's like,
Oh. I couldn't. Anyway, not important. But then the astronomer goes away because it's a tax write-off and he's been paid.
Mhm.
And they're like, Jessica's like, girl, where you been? And she's like, girl, my
tell
cousin
you.
overthrew me. I ain't no longer the queen. And everyone's like, oh. And then it changes to Lydia's point of view. And so she says bye-bye to her sons.
Ace
and
is still being a dick.
still being a cunt. And she's like, so, here's this ring, and it's like this big-ass ruby that she puts down. And she's like, use it to, like, pay for university, buy a house, do whatever you want. And because I don't know if I'm going to be back. And, like, Bran's chill, and Ace is still being rude.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and she's like, I wish I had something else to give them because that ring belonged to her dad, and her dad, like, sucked, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all she could give them. So then she walks away. And then we switch back to Hypaxia, and they, like, are smushed into the, like, Jessica's office, and then Ethan's like, what the fuck? And Hypaxia is like, so about that, I don't remember the general's name. Morgana? Morgantha?
Morgan. Well, it's
Morgana?
a girl. Morgan.
Well, Morgantha could be a
But she's a witch.
It'd still be her name.
Morgan.
I don't know. It's like Morgantha. There's a TH in there.
Mm.
And she's like, so she like overthrew me because, yeah. And Jessica was like, why didn't you fight back? And she's like, I would have died. And Jessica was like, okay, and die.
Keep your honor.
Mm-hmm. Prince Zuko out here.
Claim your honor.
And so then Jessica was like, go swear your oaths. And Hypaxia is like, okay. I'll help you with your little resurrection afterwards. And she goes off to swear her oaths. And then Jessica has this whole like gossip session with Ethan where she's like, well, you know, she should have kept her honor and she should have fought and she should have died. Her mother would be so proud of her, but her grandmother would not. Blah, 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 blah.
And Ethan's just like, but like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she would have lost.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like talking about herself. Ethan will ask like one question. It's like, so how you been? And she's like, so for the past 15,000 years.
And now Ados and I are best friends.
Yeah.
and Ethan will literally like ask singular questions and like she'll just give him everything. And then like
it's so great. I love her.
Funny. And then like she'll be like, you asked too many questions, pup. You don't need to know all this.
You don't need to know.
You don't need all this. And then he'll be like, okay. And then she'll continue.
So then she's talking about the astronomer. She's like, yeah, we're buds. Because he's like, why do you have a tab with him? She's like, we're buds. He was a human before he like fucked with his soul, I guess. I don't know. And now he's like kind of not human, but he's
kind of dying.
Yeah, he's like looking for a way to stay young, and he thinks he'll find that in hell. And what's her face? Jessica's looking for a way to not stay young, and she thinks she'll find that in hell. And she found out that dragon fire is like one of the only things that'll make Apollyon like bulk. So she's like, I wanted that dragon. And he's like, I ain't selling you that dragon. So she's like, it's chill. We'll just like work together. And it doesn't really work out, but like she's working with it. Mm-hmm. And then she talks about Danica, and she kind of drops the bomb that we already knew because we had been in Bryce's head, but she drops it on Ethan where she's like, yeah, you know, their line has been bred for centuries to be like bloodhounds and whatnot. And he's like, well, like, why would he just let her live like that? Like, why was they doing that? And then why did he kill her if they bred her specifically for that, like Danica? Mm-hmm. And then Jessica was like, well, why do you think they killed her? Because she was too powerful and she had too much free will. Like, she was too willful, she was too smart. Mm-hmm. So they killed her because she was too much like the old wolves, which were the ones that she faced off at the library.
And they couldn't control her like they could with Sabine.
Because Sabine is just stupid.
Mm-hmm. Just an angry woman.
And then at that point, Ethan's kind of like, oh, my brother got killed in the crossfire because of Danica. And so he's kind of just like, he had that bomb dropped on him. And then we go to chapter 46. And they're standing on the hull of the depth charger with, what the fuck is their name? Sendas. Another Shannon story. She texts me and she's like, I didn't know Sendas was a girl. I forgot who they were. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I thought it was a pirate. Like peg leg, eye patch, like parrot on the shoulder, full thing. And she thought it was a guy. So then when they said she was like, oh, fuck yeah. Girl pirate. No.
I so badly want to see like the world from the like perspective of Shannon.
And then she texts me the same chapter, because in this chapter they're like, everything's gray, the water's gray, Hunt's wings are the same color as the water. And she goes, Haley, Hunt has blue wings. Shannon, they're gray. We already said the water was gray.
Oh
I love
my
her so much.
God.
She's like hilarious. But the mist is like giving Shadowfold and like the Netflix show, you know, like the big ass wall that's kind of like weirdly impenetrable.
Oh yeah,
And that's what it's giving.
but white mist.
So white mist. It's gray. It's not spooky dark shadows.
Mhm.
And so they're like standing up there. It's everyone except the frat pack. They're downstairs and they're like waiting for them to show up, and then they do show up and they're like, bro, sorry, Dak and Flynn, like they saw this waffle machine downstairs and they went crazy. And then they're just arguing over if whipped cream or syrup is better on waffles, which is like hilarious. But Bryce is like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Like, guys, we're literally about to go down on here.
Mhm.
What the hell?
And then they're like, so you got like a doorbell or anything, like a secret password? And Rune's like, well, I got you. The star sword is your doorbell. And she just whips out the star sword and a door opens.
The mist part.
And then a boat comes up to them and they're like, it's Morven. And, he's
And
like,
there's a stag on the
Yeah.
boat.
and the stag is like a speaker, I guess, or something, speaker-esque.
Mhm.
And it's like Morven's voice, and he's like, I've been waiting for this.
Come here, Pookie.
Come here.
So excited to see you. Am I your Roman Empire, Pookie?
And then it switches over to Therion's point of view, and he's just standing there, and he's like, oh my god, my shotties are leaving me. And then Flynn turns to him, and he's like, or like Rune turns to him, and he's like, you okay there? And he's like, yeah. And then just jumps into the boat, and Flynn's like, go!
Yeah, everyone's like, yo, what the
the
hell?
And then
And everyone's like staring, like,
and then the mist closes, and the water, like the ocean, like it's all angry, and then everyone's like, Therion, yo.
you have a fourth queen after you now. Fourth ruler that wants you dead.
It's so funny.
And everyone's like pissy at him except
I
like
love
Flynn.
Therion. He makes the stupidest decisions ever, and I love him for that. Because TBH, if all my besties were on a boat going on some dangerous mission where they could die without me, I'm in that boat.
I'm done. Except
I'm
Ethan.
in-
Ethan would run the other way.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not Ethan in the way of running. I do side quests occasionally, but I side quest with a buddy. I'm buddy side questing. I don't go it on my own. If my shotties are going on a boat, I'm getting with them.
Yeah.
We're gonna get scurvy together. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But also, I love, like, Therion, I love how every single, like, horrible thing in his life, he has gotten himself into.
And I love that for him.
Like, literally,
he's just a girl.
He just wanted into the River Queen's daughter's pants. And so he got betrothed to her and then realized he couldn't get unbetrothed and then ruined his life and then gave himself over and willingly got addicted to the Viper Queen. Like, bro,
he's fucking everything up, and I
he's
love him.
crazy.
I love him for that. And then it's 47.
Woo! Okay, so Hypaxia starts a little witchy witch thing.
I love that for her.
And starts trying to conjure up Sigrid. They kind of realize they have to sew her head back on because Ethan, decapitated her.
That's like a job for me. Can you imagine just like stitching like a nice little blanket
Yeah.
stitch maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe we're like basting it. Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
I wonder what color thread she used.
But yeah, the gang and Bryce and everyone on that side of the book that isn't Ethan, Sigrid, or Jasiba are all in the throne room at Avalon. And they're like, hey, yo, Morven,
What's up? What's
bro?"
crackalackin'?
And then he just immediately starts off the bat with like sexism. And he's like,
So sexist.
I only see one royalty in here.
He's
and-
He's like, oh, you two, what are we doing here? And Bryce was like, well, like, are you talking to like me or him? And he's like, so like one of you's disowned, so only one of you is royal at this point.
Yeah, I love how like goofy this scene is though.
And Bryce is like, damn, that must hurt.
They're literally just like shitting around. It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Oh my god. And they're just going back and forth.
Mhm.
And then they're like, well, I don't want to, and then Morven's like, I don't want to talk to anyone who's disowned, disgraced, banished, or anything else. And she's like, well, raise your hand if you've been disowned, disgraced, or like banished. And like almost everyone in the room raises their hand. And then Declan and Flynn is like, I don't think I've been disowned.
I think we're good.
I think I'm still my father's heir.
So they're like, step on up to the plate, and they're like, oh.
And then,
No.
yeah, and they're like, damn it, all right. And then Flynn like says something cocky or whatever, and Mormon's like, I'd be careful.
Be careful what you say."
say to me. And Flynn's like, what the fuck,
Girl.
and then like the murder twins emerge holding Flynn's sister. Sathya, and everyone's like, "Yo,
You're
what the
like,
hell is
"That's
going on?"
crazy."
All right, Deck, that leaves you to do the talking.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god! And then we go to 48.
Wait, I like how. Sorry, this is like not relevant at all, but I like how part of their demands were like Jack is like okay to talk with them, but he's like gay. Like that wasn't women. No, like the normal like man like. You know?
Yeah,
These like women know, but like the gays,
they
they chill. They chill as
I
fuck.
love these. Like anyone with a dick is valid.
Yeah, we chillin'.
We chilling.
You got if you want 2 dicks, like it's fine. Like we're chilling.
Vibing.
Mhm.
Oh my god! But yeah. So then 48. So Sathya and Flynn's like their family had to leave their house in the middle of the night because of Flynn's association with being, breaking out,
Springing the bitches.
springing the bitches back from what's Rigolus's palace,
Yeah.
his dungeon. They're in a little bit of hot water.
A little bit of tussle.
So the 33rd came to interrogate
Take him
them,
away.
which probably meant they were going to kill him or be tortured by the Asteri. So they ended up hightailing it to Avalon,
Mhm.
and then they get there, and apparently they're friends with Morven. So Morven's like, yeah, you can stay up at my summer house,
my little cabin up there.
and then they're like, oh, but your daughter's unmarried.
Oh, that's a woman? That's crazy.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Crazy.
And then, he's like, well, you can marry her off. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Daddy Hawthorne's just like,
Yeah.
okay. Like, I haven't had any success with it, so you can do it.
Me and my wife are safe. I'm good. I don't give a shit
chilling.
about this girl anymore.
Yeah.
And then Morven's like, okay, marry one of my murder twins. Like, oh my god, that actually seems horrible.
Terrible.
Like, imagine like being married to just one of them. Would you end up being like married
Both
to
of
both
them,
of
yeah.
them? Yeah.
And they both suck.
Yeah. They're both
Like, imagine
evil.
being married to someone who can just pry into your mind and doesn't ask about it. They
I
just,
feel like
slither on in
you'd be more like slimy version of Pollux.
there. Double.
Double make it trouble. And then she's like, and so Morven's like, I literally gave your sister to marry one of the 2 twins. I didn't give a fuck which one. She
Yeah.
still says no.
She said, nah.
And Flynn's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? Send her back to Lunathon. And Sathya's like, I'll literally be killed.
Like, we can't be doing that.
And Bryce is like, should I help?
And Lydia's like, she like goes over and she asks Lydia, she's like, should I help? And Lydia's like, I've never had anyone fight for me. So then Bryce is like, okay, I'm gonna go to war!
Here we go, I'm gonna fight for a woman. And luckily she doesn't have to, because Therion speaks up in the back and says, I'll marry her.
Which is so Therion. That is the most Therion thing he's done in like
Oh
a
my
while.
God.
He cannot not be married.
Oh my god, he's like, I've been single for a little too long now. I felt the need to be engaged. But it's so funny because I feel like this is end up going to like get him out of trouble. If he's
Probably.
married to a high fae, or a noble fae, I
Mhm.
feel like it's going to end up like cooling, because now
Cooling the
he's-
jets.
technically he's under the dominion technically of
Right,
Morven
yeah.
and the August King.
Yeah.
Autumn King.
Taylor Swift's August starts playing in the background.
But yeah, so I feel like this might actually end up benefiting him in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I feel like Sathya and Therion could actually be a good mix.
I'm kind of upset about it because I wanted Baxian and Therion to get together. Because there's one point in like
So
one of the
good.
chapters, I think it's when they're eating dinner, where he's like, Therion's in his head and he's like, I wish I could offer some sort of kindness to Baxian. I wish I could like show him that I care.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're in love.
They're in love.
And then they kissed.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. So that's that. Okay. So 48. So yeah, they're saying, oh, I missed a bit. Okay. So yeah, she had to get married. They got married on the spot. Like he pulled up the priest, all
Yeah.
that. Like Therion was like, I would want someone to stick up for my sister and help
Because
her
his
out.
sister's dead.
Yeah.
Because Flynn's like, my sister sucks. And Therion's like, well, mine's dead. So,
Like, okay, here we go with the trauma battles again.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, 49. So, oh wait, that was the beginning of 49. Okay, so now they're married. And now they have access to the archives and the caves.
We skipped a bit.
Yeah, we did skip a bit.
So we skipped a bit in 48.
Oh, my bad. So Hypaxia raises Sigrid from the dead after 7 hours, 7 minutes, and 7 seconds.
The divine number, if you will. 777.
And when she gets up, she is not right.
She's not chilling.
She is not
She's
right.
not lean with it. She's not rocking with it.
She has got green eyeballs. And they're like, oh my god, she's a Reaper! Is that the Grim Reaper?
So sorry for our podcast listeners who just had to have to hear scream constantly.
Oh god. And so yes, she wakes up a Reaper, and Ethan's like, what the hell did you do, Hypaxia?
I only imagine the Sims Grim Reaper. That's all I imagine whenever they're like a Reaper. I'm like, it's the Sims. Like the 3D molded sculpted. Anyway.
So Hypaxia's like, I gave her an option and she chose the other one.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that the Underking has stolen her and like made her be a Reaper now. Because her soul was like lost, and then like reviving her like made it found again. So the
Underking was like, oh, that one looks tasty. So he goes up there and he's like, hey, you want to be a Reaper? And she's like, oh, this bitch killed me, so I ain't going back to him.
Yeah.
And she becomes a Reaper, and then the Underking shows up, and he's like, ha, she's mine now. And then they waddle off into the sunset.
Yeah. Okay, and then 49, they get permission to go into the library now, and the archives and the caves now that what's her face, Sathia, is married. And then we go back to Sigrid, and Sigrid's like, you killed me. And Ethan's like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, I won't forget that. Okay. All right. And then moving on, 49 more. And then yeah, Ethan's freaking the fuck out.
He's not cool.
He is
not
feels
chilling.
very guilty. And then he's like, yo, fix this, Hypaxia. And she's like, there might be a way. And she's like, the Thunderbirds. I'm like, oh my god.
They can't let Sophie rest.
They are not.
Ethan's like, you're gonna raise Sophie with your track record.
Yeah. So she's gonna raise Sophie. Jasiba called up the Ocean Queen, made a few promises. And now they are gonna have Sophie Renas's body. But surprise, her her body is in Avalon.
So Ethan's going back with the boys!
Reuniting! Oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. And then they also, but like on the Thunderbird thing though, why not? I feel like Sophie's gonna end up not working out, and then they're like, Hunt.
Yeah, probably.
Hunt.
This little thing that you can do with your lightning. What if we zip zip
yeah. And then we get to 50. And then so the gang is fucking around in the archives, and they are finding out because they found a map of the old map of Avalon, and it is surrounded by like a bunch of little islands,
mini islands,
like little tiny islands, but it's on none of the new maps, and no one knows what happens to the islands. And so Bryce is like, back when I was in Prithian, the island that I was on used to be surrounded by a bunch of islands too, but with the arrival of like all of the monsters she was trapping onto the island, that like killed the land and like took back all of the islands.
There's definitely something in the Cave of Princes. That's what that
100%.
means. There's something in there. Maybe it's the library monster.
Raxus.
Yeah. Because it went missing. Like they don't know where it is in Akatar. It's just out there. Mm-hmm. It's totally on Midgard.
Oh my god.
Just chilling with Peleus' corpse.
I'm so not excited for the Cave of Princes. It's gonna be so just like, some cool hieroglyphs. Oh no, a monster! Ah!
It might not be. It might be something big. We could get a plot twist.
We could get a plot twist. Oh my god.
There's more in the back. Therion's like, well, this could not be the Asteria. This could totally be climate change. And they're all like, shut up.
Like islands disappear all the time. And they find nothing. They go to dinner. And they're just all kind of chatting and like having a little moment.
The ex-Asteri goons, so Lydia, Baxian, and Hunt, are just kind of like trauma sharing. They're like, this is so funny. And this is so like, giggly.
Rune's across the table, like, listening.
Oh. Just flipping his hair.
Yeah. And then they all like kind of say, "Thank you, Lydia. Thanks
We love
for
you.
helping
We
us.
love you."
Thanks, Pookie." And she's like, "Pay me back when you kill the Asteri." And then
She
like,
real.
"Okay."
She real.
No, that's fair.
I want her to be part of Team Cave
Mm-hmm.
because I want her to go beat bitches up.
Yeah, beat bitches up. Bryce and Hunt have a weird ass sex scene where they're just kind of like, "I'm mad at you. Me too. I don't really know why.
Let's
Neither."
fuck.
Yeah.
And
then
then
everything is right in the world.
it's like I don't even know what happened with that TBH because they just kind of like were in space, and then they weren't in space, and they were like, "We can share powers." I'm anemic. They're like, "We can share powers."
Oh my god, we have this crazy connection, and then Bryce is like, "Our connection is made."
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, so apparently it's something with the cauldron and their power. I don't know.
Maybe Hunt is from
But they
Prithian.
don't have angels though.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe.
He could. This could all be some weird ass thing Sarah J. Maas is doing, and then I just have to go with it. She does that sometimes.
Yeah, and so that's kind of how the chapter ends: is that their connection is made.
Lovely.
Yeah. Predictions?
I want Lydia to go to the cave, so it's gonna be something deep, dark, and scary down in the cave. It's definitely gonna be either like an Asteri, like a jump back scene, like the same parallels with what was in the.
I'm just trying to imagine something worse than like
It's Celine or Helena. Helena's down there because they didn't know where she went.
That's true.
So she's like rotting
it's like
down
the
there.
monster of Helena that's left.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm.
Girl power.
Girl power.
And the Prithian bros are definitely gonna show up down there because I'm not getting bored without them, but I know they're gonna show up again at some
It's like
point.
I'm getting impatient almost.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything, and it's like I want to know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not in like I don't need to like read about them, but I'm just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
are they just fucking around? Like, are they still stuck in that cave? Like, what's happening? How long has it been?
It's so weird. I don't know. Like, I definitely feel like they'll be coming back soon because we are now at a halfway point. So they will be coming back soon because they're definitely going to be involved in the final battle.
Oh yeah.
So,
oh my god, I saw this thing, or someone was saying that like when they go to battle, like ever, Rune's just in skinny jeans. He's running around in like the ribbed skinny fuckboy jeans.
Oh my god. She texted me a picture of skinny jeans and said, "I have the ick if this is what Rune is fighting in." I'm like,
this pulls up to you in the battle, what do you do? What you doing? I'm running in the other
pants
direction.
him, take his belt.
And on that note, we have class.
We do have class. So
Love
thanks
you
so much for listening. Join us next week.
Bye, Pookies.
Bye, Pookies.
Mwah.
Mwah.